Oh yeah, one more thing. Everybody wants some. I want some too. 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 Does anybody remember that movie that involved that hamburger that came out of the grill and started fucking walking around with all the other food items? I was thinking. I'm just saying. Everybody wants some. Sorry, I had to just fix my hair and, everything very eating tree. Don't worry, I'll make another video. But this is a very serious video. We're going to talk very serious as adults and talk with intelligence, because they've always said pen is mightier than the sword, and it is. And a lot of people need to understand this, because they need to be, enlightened, to help understand and have knowledge in their lives so they can help cope with when dumb people start doing stupid things around the world. You know what I mean? And one of them is Trump. But but Trump and his administration have not been educated properly, to the point, even to, I don't think they even know how to play checkers or chess properly. And life is one big board chess game. And what they did was not only criminalize the American people, but they just ensured their own prosecution. Like, they submitted and signed evidence of a lot of malice, evil things towards millions of people, not just a few, millions of people, and that on itself is a charge. So I will begin this speech with a few quotes, with actually like two quotes from I guess like a blogger, and the other one from an actual counselor, psychotherapist. And these two quotes are just to have questions. They're questions that are going to give answers, just to help with the thesis and the speech that I'm about to say. And the charges that we, the American people, are going to bring against Trump, his administration, all the ICE agents, all the federal agents, and all the Republican and Democrats within this government that not only betray the people, but they really ignorantly, I don't know if it was they knew what they were doing, or they're just that incompetent, but ignorantly signed off and put so much evidence against them criminal wise. So let's get right into it. All right, the justice. Everybody wants some. The American people is about to get justice, and I hope this gets to everyone. If it doesn't, please spread it around so we could prosecute Trump, his administration, ICE agents, federal agents, and a lot of traitors, Democrats and Republicans within our government, because this will not be tolerated. And we have rules of law here. Laws, justice, and protocols and procedures and due process that we do that define us as Americans, that separate us from different nations, from third parties, and from individuals or groups, nations, or terroristic organizations that seek to take away freedoms, choices, and votes from people within their nation, citizens, city, states, or even democracy, government, whichever it is. It doesn't have to just be in America. This is for the whole world. The human beings are human beings, and no other human being has a right for that they did not create. And we are the children of God. And the fact that these false kings want to act like that, we're gonna start putting some justice on them, because I think they're either ignorant or incompetent. I'm gonna start with this thesis with a few quotes to help start off this thesis. What do you call someone who demands to make all of your decisions for you, but also wants you to take full accountability for any bad outcome that might happen from abusive listening, from abusive things that you have been told to listen to them. You know what I mean? So what do you call someone who demands to make all of your decisions for you, but also wants you to take full accountability for any bad outcomes that might happen from listening to them? What do you call that? That's called an abusive narcissistic person or groups. They're abusive narcissistics. That's what they are. Abusive narcissistic behavior. That answers that question, that quote. The quote comes from the source of the website of Quora it just says blogger. I don't know where from Holmes. The second quote that I will quote comes from the quote source of Robert Thomas, a counselor psychotherapist. And I quote, "They could be called control freaks or control freak, super etish, self-opinionated, to name a few. Such people overrate, manifest their self-esteem, insecurity, and reflect the state of the childhood they had or have had when they have been in control. Criticize, judge, inhibit, and neglected emotionally." Now we'll continue. Such people fake superiority to hide the inferiority within and to keep the bruised ego boosted and self-esteem painted in loud colors for all to see. It is certainly a personality disorder that they need to deal, and now that we, the American people, need to deal with, because Trump has a huge disorder, and it's a mental disorder. The administration, Republicans and Democrats, not all of them, but few of them, have a huge mental disorder, and it is inflicting a lot of abuse, damage, and death to the American people. And that's the point. Their choices are inflicting harm, terror, fear, and abuse to the American people, human beings, and fellow individuals. Not just Americans, but fellow individuals that are not even criminals. And this comes to the point of the criminal charges. I will continue with this topic and the next quote that comes from a blogger from an online course, Quora, but I don't know the source of the name of the person. It's just the source is from the website blog Quora, but it just says blogger. So and I quote, "But the terrible truth is, it really doesn't matter what you call them. You need a plan to get away from them. We need a plan to get away from these individuals, groups, administration, hence Trump, his administration, Republicans and Democrats, federal agents, local departments, both state and local, federal, that are just abusive narcissists. They're narcissisms. They love abusing people. What's more frightening is that they're incompetent. They're either ignorant or incompetent. So they're both ignorant and incompetent and narcissists, which is a dangerous combination. And what makes it worse is that it's a large group of them, of these human individuals with these patterns and mental behaviors toward others, this thinking and ideology. It was best said, I don't know if you saw the movie Kingdom Under Heaven, when the King Sodom was there, and his soldiers told him, "These knights, what do you want me to do with these prisoner knights? What do you want us to do with them?" And the Sodom said, kill them all." And the soldiers were like, I mean, they weren't defending, but in a way it was like they're prisoners of war. This is a war crime. We can't do this under God. This is not justice. This ain't right. But what King Solomon said stuck in my head. And he said this, and I quote from the movie. He said this to his soldiers: These men only know one thing, and one thing only. And that will poison the rest of the world and other people in this world of God. And for that, they cannot continue to live. They cannot continue to thrive. Kill them all. I hope that resonates with you to understand what he meant. Because he was not a cruel man. He's not one to just kill people and just like, he doesn't care. But the choice of killing all those knights was a decisive choice under an intellectual choice, not by hatred or by torturing or abuse of others, but of the necessity to preserve the integrity of human beings and the character of goodness for all, not just his nation, but for all human beings. So when he said, kill all those knights, he told them why. Because they only know one thing. And that one thing in their mind will never go away. It's always going to be there. We could teach them logic. We could teach them knowledge and wisdom. We could teach them forgiveness. We could teach them the Lord's words. We could teach them the love. They will never change. So in this perspective, what Trump and his goons and administration are doing, no, we're not going to kill them, but we are going to bring justice to them. And I'll repeat what I said from what gave me from what I referred kingdom under heaven for, so you could understand, so you won't fall under track. I'm gonna repeat what I said that brought us to that interpretation to help you understand it. But the terrible truth is, it really doesn't matter what we call narcissisms. For real, it doesn't matter what we call them, because all we need to do, you need a plan to get away from them. What is it called when someone tries to control and demean everything you do? What is it called when someone tries to control and demean everything you do? Not just you, but entire nation. Do you want to know what that's called? It's called abuse. It's called abuse. It's called abuse. It's not called justice. It's not called protocol. It's not called taking the what Trump says, the criminals, the ones that are dangerous to his nation. No, not dangerous to the nation, dangerous to Trump and his bullshit goons and billionaire ideologies. But you know what I noticed? They're so ignorant or incompetent, they don't even know what they just did. They just criminalized themselves by signing that big, beautiful bill. Let's bring it on. So I bring all those quotes into fruition so you can understand where this is all going. So then now I continue this whole thesis and sentence with my speech, my writing, my thesis of how I feel about Donald Trump and his criminal acts and his charges that will be charged against him and the administration by the people, by the American people. Because if the Supreme Court doesn't want to act, then they're part of the group that's going to be charged too. I continue with my thesis, with my writing. This is my intelligence. This is what I wrote after what I heard from this. These rational choices. I hope y'all know what the term, the definition of what rational choices are. If you don't, look it up. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but these rational choices made by Donald Trump and his Republican Party are decisions and rational choices that they made and signed to create a bill that will not only harm and hurt many human lives and families, but cause the deaths of millions of Americans that include elders, families, men, women, and children. This bill is half sweet and half sour, where the interests of a few outweigh the many. Even though those few that have signed and allowed this big, beautiful bill to be created have more than 98.7 of the 98.7 more money than what the average Americans and lower class companies have and are running with by local, state, and local, and then of course personal uses, both local, state, federal, and within their families have combined. And I continue. And still, that is not enough. And the wheels of justice are rigged, and the character of this great American nation is tested. But as Americans, we will prevail, we will unite, and we will stand and fight for this Injustice Act. and the cruelty and abuse from those who choose to act with violence and political tactics that inflict fear, abuse, and death to the fellow Americans and human beings from other nations and countries that are just trying to live life and in peace. America is a nation of immigrants and historical immigration. Our doors have been a welcome and a love of open arms that brings hope to those that come here and hope to become American citizens. I continue. So as Americans, as brothers and sisters, and as moral, responsible, mature, and respectful individuals, and most of all, the American people that do have the power and a seat within this great American nation, under God, indivisible, with liberties and justice for all, and under the American Constitution, that all men and women, elders, veterans, children, human beings are created and treated equally. So with the assistance of Congress and certain justice members within our Congress, government, state and local, under the complaints, abuse, torture, and deaths that Trump and his followers and his administration party have inflicted, I ask that the charges of second-degree manslaughter and vehicular intentional detention manslaughter, along with the charges of voluntary manslaughter to all those that assisted Trump and or his administration's interests that inflicted terror, fear, abuse, and death to many Americans and innocent humans from around the world. Along with these charges of aiding and abetting this criminal offense that caused fear, terror, abuse, and death from these individuals with many evidence that has so many evidence piled up. Trump has so many evidence piled up, and we have his signed signature on this bill with all the other ones that signed petitions in many formats: TV, YouTube, video, recorded, you name it. So we have the evidence. I continue, and I will fight and continue to work and find the right individuals and Justice Department willing to assist the American people and the many human lives that were affected by Trump and his administration ideologies and choices and actions that only benefit Trump, billionaires, rich Republicans, and Democrats, super rich companies. But I leave the American people and the future of the American people, they leave the American people and the future of the American people with abuse, neglect, a national debt that will increase and ruin the future of this great nation, to have the children of the future to pay for all these traitors' betrayal to all of us. For freedom, liberty, justice for all humans and all Americans. I thank you for listening. Those that watch this video, I end this right now. For the American people, by the American people. We will stand against this tyranny, and Trump's and his administration and the other goons that work in the federal, state, and local think they can hide behind their false jurisdiction and behind the sheep's clothing when they know they're actually wolves. They're going to be brought to justice. I ask those individuals that are true to the American people, true to our freedoms, integrity, our character, and justice, to stand up and come sign with me to help prosecute Trump with these charges. Second-degree manslaughter. I'll repeat again. Second-degree manslaughter on all those, including Trump. Vehicular intentional detention manslaughter. That goes for ICE agents and all the federal agents, local cops, and local state that assisted in aiding and abetting a terroristic type of act of kidnapping and torturing many Americans that were innocent through terror, fear, abuse, and death. The choices of the Trump administration, Trump himself, federal ICE agents, federal humans, both state and local, have created death. Even though it wasn't intentional. Let me get this straight to all Americans, and even Trump and your administration. You messed up bad. Even though it wasn't intentional, you caused human beings to die. We're not talking about Americans, and we're not just talking about Mexicans. Forget all that. We're talking about human beings, a life. It's like the same as you torturing a monkey or a dog or a cat. You know, they'll charge you for animal cruelty. Same for humans. You can't, Trump, brother, what's wrong with you, man? Like we're here for you too, but you have to be against us. Why? Out of fear. You know, your fear got the best of you, and you messed up bad. And I'm letting you know you messed up bad, dude. And a lot of people are either ignorant or too incompetent to let you know that justice is coming, and it's right here now, dude. So I ask those that are in the high departments to come sign with me to have Donald Trump be charged with second-degree manslaughter, his agency, his administration be charged with vindictive intentional detention manslaughter. That's for detaining people without no due process, and let's not forget due process. They're human beings. You don't treat any living soul or any living thing like that. I'm not saying we're things, but I'm just categorizing as like, a person, an animal, like dog, like those that have conscience, has feelings, and they're subject to any type of terror, abuse, or death. That's a law. You can't do that. You just can't hurt and abuse animals, and you just can't hurt and abuse human beings for your ideologies. So second-degree manslaughter for Trump, along with a lot of other charges, along with falsification. We have a lot of proof of him lying. Then vindictive intentional detention manslaughter for all the ICE agents, and then for Christy Noble to be charged for falsification too, and bringing up false narratives, which is also a charge. You can't lie about somebody or a department or organization and just say it's well, I didn't know. We live with laws, rules, and responsibilities to be mature and respectful towards one another. And these laws are not to be bent or broken. So I don't know what your government people think. The American people come first, and we do have a seat in our government, and we're going to prove that too. And we also want, along with the second-degree manslaughter, the vindictive intentional detention manslaughter, we want the charges of also volunteer manslaughter to all those that were involved to assist Trump and his administration in the interest that inflicted terror, fear, abuse, and death to many Americans and the innocent humans from around the world. Innocent blood was spilt. That itself is a crime. Even though it wasn't intentional, Trump, your choices, your actions, and the choices and the orders you gave out to your other humans caused other humans to die, bro. That itself is a criminal act. So I ask those in Congress that are real lawyers and are real truthful and want justice and are true to the American people, come sign me for this. And all Americans to participate, to sign within this petition and bring your perspective in this matter, so we can have an abundance and more of a perspective and clear to know that this ain't a joke. What Trump did, he really shot himself in the face, actually, and they really think they're going to get away with this. His choices, his orders created terror, fear, abuse, and death. And not only that, including with the voluntary manslaughter charges, what I mean by that is that his momentum, his energy, that negative energy, that vibe that he was giving out people of hatred, helped charge other individuals that terrorized and created criminal acts. That itself is a crime. That is called voluntary manslaughter. So that's another charge against Trump. So I hope that this resonates with you and the right people come to meet. We all come together to bring this terroristic, evil man out of presidency, to have him impeached and brought to justice with these charges, along with the other charges, along with his other federal goons and Nazi punks that disrespected the American people. I leave that with this ending. Our Father God in heaven is great. Love to all. Love to the American people. From our Father name, Chaos Mother, our celestial mothers, our celestial fathers, and the Holy Trinity that includes me. God bless America. God bless the American people, and God bless the American army. This is for the future of our children. Not for me. When I die, I'm not going to be here. But when your children and our children and our grandchildren are going to be here, they're going to have to be the ones paying the debt that Trump made. And they don't care because they're not going to be here either. They're like, we're going to live our lives with the fullest and die and then let the new generation deal with the debt. No, that's not going to happen. I want these charges brought on Trump. The American people demand it. I demand it. And justice demands it. I leave that with that to say. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn early light what so proudly we hail? By the twilight last gleaming, whose bright stars are bright stars through the perilous skies. For the land part we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets bursting, the rock bursting in the air, gave through to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land and of the free and the home of the brave. Fuck you, Trump. You're going down, motherfucker.